And I'm assuming that at the meeting on the 4th, those board members would be approved and discussed. And so it could be a very different look at that board in February going forward.
Right.
So the whole thing would have to be kind of discussed again.
Yes.
And there might be some very different inputs and different considerations. Was that discussed at the meeting, the strategic meeting?
Summarize that it's now hard to hear, but coming through the Zoom, you can summarize what the woman has said.
Let me see if I can get it right. You asked if, let me see. You're asking if if other board members get on, it'll make a real difference to the conversation, and maybe the whole thing will change. Was that your question? Was that your comment?
Yeah, but it was prefaced by, my understanding is any member that wants to become part of the coordinating council or the board based on current bylaws can join if they are qualified. And so I know there are a number of people that are requesting to be board members and wanting to volunteer who have a long history with the center. So I'm assuming they would be qualified. And I'm assuming that would happen on the 4th, right, with the annual meeting, if that's what it's being called. So I just have a question, based on that and knowing the makeup of the board may build and grow and be different going forward in different perspectives, whether that was discussed in the strategic meeting.
No, it wasn't discussed in the strategic meeting.
Translate that also.
That wasn't. She was asking if we discussed that.
The addition of new board members will we rethink about this loan? They make a difference in us species or obtaining this loan.
Exactly. Yeah. And the process is like.
That's what she's at. We did not discuss that.
And again, just can you confirm that is the process that we're all being changed?
About
that.
Well,
that's why we're looking for the policies.
We're looking for the policies
On board membership? Mm-hmm. And when, I'm assuming you would need to find them way ahead of February 4th.
We'll have them made up.
Yeah, we were given some clues about where to look for a binder, so.
Susie and I will probably meet sometime this week, find the binder, and work on the new policy. If there needs to be a new policy, and we'll look at the bylaws also. I already apologize for not getting my act together on that, but we're going to get it together this week. Right, Susie? Right, Susie.
Yes, ma'am.
We've only got Friday left, so we'll get together tomorrow, yeah?
Next week, yeah.
Or next week. Larry.
I'm going to jump with a question because I have to leave in a minute. I know at several board meetings and public meetings, there was a request to have an audit or perhaps an alternative to an audit like the council cleanup. I don't see that anywhere in the proposed budget. Does that indicate that request has been denied?
No, there should be.
There's $3,000 for accounting fees.
Okay, so is that for the accountant bookkeeper or is that for an audit? Or an alternative to an audit?
I'm assuming from what I was told that was what Tony wanted to budget for an alternative to an audit, right?
Mm-hmm. So that's separate from bookkeeper fees.
Yes.
The bookkeeping fees in her too?
Yes.
Yes, they would be bookkeeper, $1,000, but which we know we'll need to adjust that, but
$4,500 for accounting fees for program. Plus the $3,000.
right now, please? There are a number of people trying to get in on Zoom, and nobody's allowing them in. Can someone please tend to that? We do offer these meetings via Zoom, and so to make them accessible is really important. So can somebody please tend to Zoom?
Allowing. What am I allowing?
Thank you.
May I ask again what she was asking for? She said that there's a number of people on Zoom that want to get in or having difficulties bringing them on. We're working on it. And
You see where they're at? But it was up there. Already people waiting in the waiting room? I'm not receiving the notification.
They might have given up by now.
Fine.
They probably left.
I've been adding people.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Thank you.
So you know where you was on this budget.
Yes.
I wanted to know what the intention of the $150,000 loan, what was that supposed to be used for?
Saturday. You were part of that conversation. Waiting to receive grants, or while the grants were being staggered, and in order to bring in an executive director until they were able to write some grants and bring funding in as well and do fundraising.
Do you have a plan if not all the grants come in of how we're going to do that back?
Yeah, and it would be a 5-year loan too, so. I mean, the goal was to have it be a 5-year loan.
That's the incredibly high rates we have now.
Yeah, right.
Will we have a chance to ask questions and have a real discussion at the February meeting?
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of questions in my mind about paying a part-time ED $60,000 in a place that doesn't really have money, and we know that there's no money really at the center. I'd be very curious to know if that position will be posted. There's going to be 2 positions. Will they be posted? Will you interview all the candidates? You know, lots of procedural questions here. And number 1, though, will be how on earth to repay that loan. We all know that grants are restricted. Yes, there's a certain percentage that you can get out of grants to administer that particular grant if you get it. But they're not designed to repay big loans or mortgages or anything like that. You can't do that.
Yeah, I didn't want to hear it.
So I'm really hoping that we'll have, first of all, we'll get a report. And, you know, from all of the board members, not just Susie, who is in fact not a board member. She's carrying the entire load here. I would really like to hear from all the board members on some of these issues, and I hope they come to the meeting. Everybody who's on the board. Happened the last time that there was an open meeting. But we still have plenty of concerns, and I think you all know that because you got a letter in the mail. Everybody except Dar. We don't know if Dar is still on the board. Maybe you can tell us that. You know, there's a lot of questions and a lot of concerns, and that has not changed.
Dar is still on the board.
I'm hoping, Tony, that we can start the February meeting with a presentation from the board members on what was discussed at the strategic planning and what the plan is for 2023, and what parts are realistic and what parts are not. You know, there are some good ideas, but, you know, we know how that goes. In fact, all of us in the room know how that goes, because everybody's had great ideas over the years, and we all have to assess what's doable and what's not doable. But we still have a lot of questions, so I hope those will all be addressed at the February meeting by the board, not putting Susie on the spot all the time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs.
I'd like to make a suggestion to the board, if you don't mind. My name is Sally. I'm very involved with another small Albuquerque nonprofit. And you might ask other nonprofits what their annual budgets are and how much they pay their people. We all want to be able to be generous to our staff, but it isn't always possible. The staff understand this. I'm in a small nonprofit that has the equivalent of 1.5 people working. At this time, we've got now the equivalent of 3. But usually we had 1.5 people working, and our budget, and we had absolutely no rent money coming in, and we pay rent, and that budget is around between 100 and 120,000 a year, not 200,000 like Peace and Justice has. So I really would like the board to start asking other small Albuquerque nonprofits. And the other thing about grants is I just read a few articles about how grants just don't make you that much. They shouldn't be that part of your, they shouldn't be assumed to be that part of your budget, a large part of your budget, because they aren't. They don't add up to that much. And you really have to work on donations and other things. And I can't believe you would put the building at risk, the building that was donated to Peace and Justice so generously and kindly. And it's really an insult to all of the people, many of whom have passed, who have been involved with Peace and Justice for the past, I don't even remember, 40 to 50 years.
Okay.
So please talk to other nonprofits in the area and find out what the standards are.
She's talking about
Strategic the only reason you have a private meeting, as I understand it, having been on another board, is if you're discussing personnel. You don't do it for budget considerations.
For what? I'm sorry, what about budget considerations?
You don't have a private for that kind of issue, only for personnel issues.
We're aware of that.
That's open
You wouldn't discuss alone at a closed meeting. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
No, wait, because people want to know what Sally said. And there was some crosstalk going on so people can understand. Sally, I'm going to try and convey everything you said. There was a lot, so be patient with me. You were talking about us as a board checking with other nonprofits about what the budget is. Is that right? And then you expressed a concern about us.
Budget and also how they pay their staff members.
Budget and also how they pay their staff members. And then you expressed, I'm trying to convey what you've already said. So can I just get through that and then you can add more, okay?
Okay.
Because there's a lot. And there's a lot of people that you want to be heard, right? So I'm just making sure that you're being heard. You also expressed a concern about a dependence on grants.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Saying grants are not necessarily reliable and shouldn't be part of the budget. Is that what you said?
No, that's not not what I'm saying.
Okay, what did
They
you
are a
say?
small percentage of a budget. They shouldn't be assumed
Okay.
to be a great percentage.
Okay, so that grants are a small percentage of the budget. They shouldn't be assumed to be a great percentage of the budget. What else do you want to add?
Strategic, okay, so you were talking about having a strategic planning meeting, which was a private meeting. My understanding from having done research for nonprofits is that the only private closed meeting a board would have would be for personnel issues.
Okay.
Or for financial issues. That has to be open and clear to the members.
Okay, so the strategic meeting was inappropriate because we didn't discuss, we were only supposed to be discussing personnel issues?
No, that's not.
I thought that's what you said.
No, that is not what I said. What I said, please. Okay. You had a closed meeting at which financial issues were discussed. My understanding about boards, and there's a lot of information available about how to run a board. My understanding for nonprofits is that anything discussed about finances, unless it has to do with personnel issues like firing someone.
No, that's in fact not.
Personnel, it's a closed meeting. Other than that, all meetings are open to the public.
Not annual planning meetings.
Every retreat that I was a member of, we didn't have to.
Yeah, those,
A totally detailed report to members.
and those were discussion items. They weren't, nobody walked out and said, this is what we're going to walk out and do.
It's been unclear. I was at the other meeting in person. Now I'm on Zoom. It was unclear whether someone had already applied for a loan. Obviously, from what you said, someone has talked to the bank.
Nobody has.
We've started doing our research in interest rates and all of the stuff that anybody would do.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
And again, I'm wondering why the need for a loan. I know you guys want to hire an executive director. It sounds like you want to have 2 full-time people at $60,000 a piece. The Peace Center has never been able to sustain one salary of $60,000. Sometimes not a salary of $40,000, barely a salary of $30,000. And you're putting this building at risk for a budget that is, you know, twice as much as the Peace Center has ever been able to sustain a budget of. The Peace Center historically has rarely had a budget over $60,000.
That's correct.
What?
And so this is a big risk, and it's taking this building that has been a place where progressive people could organize. And you can't say that we haven't been here in the last 3 years. It's COVID, and we were trying to survive it just like everybody else. But where is a place, and how many places are there in this country, which is the belly of the beast as far as the military-industrial complex and the poverty that is imposing on everybody? This is one jewel in all of our country where people can come together and organize for that. We have this building where we can come together and do that. And I gotta say for myself, coming out of COVID and about to have the last of our children become adults, I mean, I am really looking forward to getting back into being able to challenge some of the crap that is coming down from the military industrial complex in this country. And we can't afford to lose this building. And the thing that everybody is so fearful of is a loan that can't be paid back when a community organization can't handle a $60,000 budget, and that is a strain, and it's hard to do. And it takes a lot of coordination to be able to sustain that. How are we going to be able to pay back, what was this, $150,000 loan? How are we going to be able to do that? And saying that it's a 5-year loan is not much of an answer.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, I mean, our group, it has for most of its life been, you know, somebody said, who's funding you? And I said, APS, I'm a teacher, you know, my work is done for free. You know, if we do, just in Stop the War Machine, all the work that we do is totally free. None of it is paid. We just do it for free. We pay for the stuff that we need to do ourselves. So where is the money going to come from for a $150,000 loan? And everybody sitting here is like, what? Yeah, like we're like horrified. And you know, it's a paid for building. It's a total jewel. And I know that things are not up to code and stuff like that. You know, I can see a priority being to get the electricity so that it's not going to have a fire or whatever it is that needs to be done. But the biggest danger to losing this building is $150,000 loan. And what for two $60,000 salaries in a building and an organization that has never been able to sustain even a $45,000.
I think you could justify a loan if you were building the membership. If you had added the membership or tripled it or something like that to show a progressive increase of funding on a fundamental level, that would be one thing. That would make it a little more, you know, understandable to me anyway. But I see the membership diminishing. I see people, I mean, I don't know, where's DAR tonight, for instance? Not even the board is there, much less other members. Peace Cafe people aren't there. Other people, where are they? The people that you assume are supporting things, they're not here. And it suggests a very kind of meek ability to increase the membership at this time.
Yes, I'm about to. Halima has said that she's concerned about the membership. It seems to be decreasing rather than increasing. And she's also concerned about the lack of presence of some of the people here on the board. I believe Dar is working. Yeah. Dar is working tonight. And we did have a quorum, so.
Is the Devontae still on board?
Did the what?
Is Devontae still on board? He listed on the website.
He is. And Devontae is still on the board, but I guess he couldn't make it tonight. He still has some health concerns.
He was going to join by Zoom. I don't know if he did or not.
We didn't see him on Zoom.
He's not on Zoom here.
Couldn't make it.
Is there anything else of your statement, Halima, you want conveyed? You've gone mute.
Just what I said. I think we need to really look at.
It's beginning to increase, not decrease.
Tom.
Yeah, I think we need to look at increasing the membership to provide both for core issues and new things that people are willing to do. It's wonderful.
Actually, we've had,
I'm just stating
actually,
figures.
that is in fact not, I give up, I'm just not gonna.
Damn it.
I was going to keep it.
All right, let's come to order. Let's come to order.
I have to go soon, but I wanted to thank you for your
Interpreting skills.
what the person on field had said. I also think this is really a point where we're on here about developing the constituency, and that until we can show that we have a constituency of a sizable number that will contribute to the organization, or we show that we have projects that make money,
not just grants, we're on very rocky soil here. So how can we develop a vision that says, this is who we are, this is what we want, will you join us in this? And I don't think taking out a loan for $150 is a way to develop constituents, because I think people know how hard it is. So I want to say thank you for trying to get through this tough period and into a new day. But I don't think taking out a lot of debt is the way to go on this. Let's develop ourselves in a constituency. And I'm going to go back and look at the website and try to get in touch with what your vision is. And I hope that you will state what your vision is as a board, because without a vision conveyed to people, I don't think that we can go forward. Maybe it's there and it's me that hasn't looked for it and seen it. So thank you.
All right. Who also wants to be heard?
Then I realize that we're now sort of taking over and we're veering away a bit from the budget and so on, and I do apologize. But just in response to what we've just heard, I had mentioned last time, or asked, do we still have Pajola meetings? And yes, there might be the individual groups having their individuals specific meetings, but there hasn't been the regular groups getting together, the full Pajola meeting. So exactly that constituency is, it's the community that this building can provide. There's a space for community. So with all the groups coming together, that was always how membership then grew, because there was the excitement of coming together, of cross-pollination, listening to other people, growing their members, and then also the membership here. And I've interned here, I volunteered here, I saw that working. But then also, if you look at the newsletter, the number of Peace Center generated activities here are also a little bit narrow now. So nothing wrong with the yoga and the meditation. Susie gave a fantastic report this evening of all the stuff that the youth do. But if you listen to everything that was proposed where programming was concerned, was all youth-oriented, which is fantastic. Youth is the future. I'm not denying that. But if you want to look at membership, you need to also look at people who would have the money to pay the membership. So if we were able to look at the Pajola groups, get those reactivated, actually have this space safe and unmortgaged as it is at the moment, and have it filled with some hustle and bustle as it used to be, and then have that intergenerational stuff perhaps with the youth groups. I mean, restorative justice, personal hobby horse and fun. And definitely the youth. I absolutely agree with that. But again, that's just one facet. What made this space so special is that there was space for everyone here, the entire social justice community, not just one portion. And that is how the membership then actually started coming in, through that variety, and not just concentrating on youth, which would be an easy, relatively easy grant
possibility to get grants for work with you, but they can't pay the membership.
Yeah.
We'd love to have Pajola groups in here. We have a couple of Pajola groups that meet here. We have AIM that meets here a number of times. Other groups like Veterans for Peace and 350.org are afraid to come in and do most of it on Zoom. I know what you're talking about by having a
But that is what I'm talking about, getting them all in the same group so that it actually feels like a community, not 5, 6, 7, because some of the groups are quite small. Okay? They also don't have that many members. So then there's this small clump of people sitting in a large room. So instead of having, like we used to do, have a full circle of tables with all the people here and they're telling all the other groups what they're going to do. There's an excitement in it.
I've been pushing for a revival of an annual Pajola meeting, and you know, there's a lot of groups that have faded out that we've had to eliminate, but we've kept in touch with a lot of the groups that are still here, especially like on through the TV show. We have Common Ground Rising, we have New Energy Economy, we've interviewed Sabile, Jewish Voices for Peace. You know, we've talked about different nuclear issues. We have we definitely want to get these groups reestablished here and stop the bloodshed.
I'll just put them on the website.
Well, thank you, and let's build on that.
No, we're about to do that, but we've had to, you know, find things that have been lost, and we need to plan for the future. And we used to have a Pajola group of 40 to 60 people. We've eliminated probably 30 of those groups don't even exist anymore. You know, we do need to bring everybody back. You're right, and there's space for everybody here.
When is the next meeting? This is bogus.
The next Pajola group meeting?
Yeah, the next board meeting, it says 10 February 22. That's bogus.
Oh, so 23.
I don't know.
What?
It was just a typo. It's 23.
It's meeting on a Friday next month, right after
No.
the demo?
It'll be like 9 February.
9th of February.
9th of February?
That's a Thursday.
So they even have to sit at the second Thursday.
What?
That would be the second, okay, yeah, 9th February.
Okay.
That was my mistake, Michelle.
Okay.
Sorry about mistake.
So what's next?
Been beating us that month and they've been beating us.
8 o'clock.
We
No.
I'd like to follow up on what Sally suggested about balance of the budget. I was just looking at a annual report of an organization I volunteer with, and their annual budget is about $3.5 million, and just over half is from foundations and grants. And I think that's fairly accurate for a lot of nonprofits.
Well, all right. Can you still hear us there? Hello? Hello?
2023?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, is the meeting over or I can't hear anyone right now?
We need to discuss anything else on the agenda we need to bring up?
You know what we didn't talk about that I'd like to talk about? Well, you're still here. I know Hildegard left.
He's still here.
Okay. Is the community meeting next month? Like, I've not participated in one before, but I'm happy to help facilitate it and do whatever I can do, whatever y'all need me to do, work with you.
Well,
Like,
Tom,
that's what I'm saying. I don't know how it's been done here before in the past, so.
Tom has done many.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm just saying that I'm willing to, like, I don't know how they've been done in the past, but tell me and I will, like, help however I can.
I think we'll probably kind of discuss it among ourselves and figure out how we want to do it. And
Yep.
let you know what we can do as far as talking to something.
Yeah, and yep.
I think Robin has a lot of ideas and that she's done a whole lot of, so she'll be a big help.
I know we'll need like a sound that's here.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure everybody can hear. I don't think there's anybody who's ever been more involved in the Peace Center than Charlie Ellis.
I agree. We agree.
And you need to find the cords for the projector. So yeah, we'll let you know.
We're getting a projector. If anybody wants to donate a projector, we definitely.
Didn't have a cord for it. That couldn't be done.
Dave does.
Oh, but he's not here.
I don't know. Is it you? Is it your personal projector?
No, I think it belongs to the Unitarian Fellowship. But there's, since you didn't get a cord for it,
we adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
A second.
All right.
So we did review it.
Yeah, close.
We did review and approve
Yes.
Or we adjourn.